You're sitting in a park with friends. An officer comes up to you and asks if you've been smoking weed. You say no. But they place you in handcuffs while they search the area. Is this legal? What are your rights? The Fourth Amendment's protection against unreasonable seizures is the topic of today's Peach State Lawyer video blog. Hello, I'm Scott Smith. The Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution prevents the government from unreasonable seizures without a warrant. A seizure is a restriction of your freedom. In order for you to be seized under the Fourth Amendment, the officer must have an arrest warrant or have a legal reason to continue to detain you. Whether the officer has that reason depends on the interaction between you and the police officer. Let's go back to the park example. The officer comes up to you and says, "Hey, how are you doing?" He asks if you've been smoking weed, but does nothing more. You're free to respond to him or not. You're free to walk away or not. This type of encounter is a Tier 1 encounter. It can happen at any time. But what if you're sitting in the park and the officer says, "Hey, I smell marijuana over there. Are you guys smoking? Sit right here while we investigate." Is that a legal seizure? The United States Supreme Court created this second tier of police-citizen encounters in a case called United States versus Terry. It's called a Tier 2 encounter or Terry stop and is lawful only if the officer has reasonable articulable suspicion that a crime has been committed. You can't leave in this situation, but the officer must also be in an active investigation to find evidence of specific criminal activity for which you've been detained. Finally, you're back in the park and the officer says, "Hey, I smell marijuana. Are you guys smoking?" Immediately, the officer places you in handcuffs while they look for evidence of marijuana. This is what's called a Tier 3 stop, which is the same as an arrest. An officer can't arrest you without probable cause. Whether you're under arrest depends on the officer's statements and actions. Have they told you you're under arrest? Have they physically restricted your freedom? These factors and more are used to determine whether the encounter has escalated to that third tier. Remember, in all situations, the police officer's job is to find evidence of criminal activity. Anything you say or do can be used against you later. Politely decline consent to search. Politely decline to answer any questions. Tell the officer you want to speak with your lawyer. The attorneys at the law office of W. Scott Smith specialize in seizure issues. We're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for free consultations. If you feel you've been arrested unlawfully, call us today at 404-581-0999. Thank you.